Sorry, that was the friend's mom of Gwenny's friend. So here comes the battle. It looks like you've had such a huge economic lead for so long that he had a good chance to use his early army superiority to rock you, but just the longer this game goes past about 10 minutes when you were really weak, the closer your army size gets to his army size. Part of that is because you're actually using your buildings now, but still, you're still quite far behind him. You're still 900 bucks behind. But when these researches finish, you'll be closer. So this is a problem that the Protoss is having, where if you cut workers, if you have a really small economy, that gives you a bigger army early, but the longer into the game you go with this giant income disparity, the worse off you are. So he really didn't push when he had a chance, and now he's just utterly doomed, because you just have so many workers, there's nothing he can do from here. And this is a type of problem that you'll see a lot in lower leagues. You don't really see a lot of this in the Masters League, because people aren't, they know, they understand this sort of thing. Like, if you cut workers, it's to get a big army now, and you have to hit them. And if you don't, then you have to make workers, you know? So you're knocking down your own side rocks to secure this third. That's cool. I like the ballsiness of it, too, because you know he's outside your base, but you're going to take your third no matter what. And I've said that a bunch of times. It's worth the $400 risk, because, first of all, you can float your building, so you might not even lose it, even if he does run over to it. But second, you're risking 400 bucks for the potential to add $1,000 every minute to your income. So it's really, it pays for itself if it gets up like 30 times over in 3 minutes. So here he comes, seeing that expo, he's going to try to knock it down. And he had an easy chance of knocking it down right then. But he's kind of being weird and playing around with it. So instead of pulling your army to defend it, you're just going to send in SCVs, repair, and let the planetary fortress get all sorts of kills by itself. This is really funny. This army, if he just walked it in and killed the planetary would be dead. He was, I don't know what he was thinking. That was just weird. So now you've got an awful lot of Vikings for someone who doesn't see any Colossus. He's not making any Colossus either. He's going for the High Templar route, so these Vikings aren't going to be very good. You're very Marine heavy. You've been making primarily Marines for a very long time, and Marines are awesome against no Colossus, no Psystorm Protoss. So right now, your army could easily crush his army. You could A-move in and win this game easily right now. And you just had so much more money than him coming in for so long. Look, you're ahead in every category that it's kind of ridiculous. You're at 200 units base, and hopefully right now you just A-move and the game ends. I would empty these bunkers and bring those Marines with you when you attack, but really, it doesn't matter. You're just so ridiculously far ahead in this game that there's nothing you can do. So composition-wise, this is a really risky composition. At about 10 minutes, you usually want to have a big army and make an attack. Now, in this game, you had a very small army, so I'm glad you didn't make an attack at 10 minutes, but the whole point of thinking of a 10 to 12 minute attack is that in the first 10 minutes, Marines are the best unit in the world in TvP. But once he gets Colossus or Psystorm, Marines become very vulnerable to AoE. And unlike in TvZ, where you can spread your Marines out, or TvP, where you can just hide behind your tanks, there's no way to really keep Marines alive against Protoss. Because if you try to spread them out, then just Zealots will overwhelm them. And if you don't spread them out, then AoE overwhelms them. So you really want to switch away from Mass Marine at about 10 minutes. Luckily for you, your opponent just went with Gateway Immortal the whole time, so Marines happen to be extremely good against that, and it worked out really well for you. But you really want to keep an eye on when he starts to transition into AoE and attack right before then. Like, if you had scanned and seen this and attacked right now, I would have called you a genius. And if you'd see him start to get his first Colossus, when he has one Colossus, you got to say, uh-oh, I better attack before he gets 3. And go suicide your Marines into his army, because they're going to be a lot worse once his third Colossus comes out. Other than that, I really like the Marine Tank Viking opening, but I don't know that if I would want to get to 200 unit space of Marine Tank Viking medevac. It seems a little silly. In the later game, once you have about 4 medevacs, you want to produce mostly Marauders from your racks, and go for either Thors or Banshees or both from your starports and factories. Vikings are, you know, they're just okay, They're good against Colossus, but what if he doesn't make them, you know? And Banshees are actually better dollar for dollar against Colossus, so it's totally cool if you just want to get Banshees. Anyway, I really liked this. You can see how much of a big deal your economy was. You just basically won this whole game by having the balls to 2 racks fast expand behind very little defense. And it was vulnerable. I mean, you're going to lose a lot doing this sort of thing. You need that second bunker quicker, and then you need maybe 4 bunkers if you plan to go all the way out to 2 starports before making any units. You need to just have a generally bigger army in the early game as well, and you need to not queue up so many Marines. I really like queuing up 4 to 6 Marines, but 8 is just overkill. And I mean, mostly I stick to 4. The point of queuing is to extend kind of the amount of time you have to react to stuff, and I find that 17 seconds for SCVs is just not enough time. You'll see a lot of, like, even in pro games, almost all of the pros, when you watch their replays, they're queuing up 2 to 3 to 4 SCVs during hectic moments at each command center, and you wanna always queue up SCVs, but Marines are 25, so you really only have to queue up 2 to get it all the way out to 50 seconds. And queuing up 1, 2, 3, 4 waves of them, that gives you like 2 minutes. That's you don't need that much time. You're gonna check back to your base within the next 2 minutes, right? So try to only queue up enough to buy you the time you need. Also, the longer building units, these guys take 42 seconds by themselves, so there's really no need at all to queue medevacs. They take so long to build. And the same goes for tanks, 45 seconds. You just don't really need to queue them. Anyway, good job. You had full mule energy on this command center. I dislike that. I think that's a... Yeah, what I always do is drop mules from this hotkey. You hotkey all your command centers together, and then you just hold down E and click the same mineral patch a bunch of times. The mules will automatically spread out and start mining. So I don't see how you manage to spend it on one command center but not the other. That's a little weird. Nothing else to say.